Say.
Signs that for the prophet was coming from this earth, was it the same as it is now? Here's an honor where you feel it in the air, there's so many things happening in the world. Was it just among the learned people, or some people that had knowledge that they were waiting? Or was it something that the whole world and even just regular people, they were seeing things, they were like in the same way that's happening now? That this is our here's an honor, and we're waiting for these events.
You mean at that time? Yes. Just because there were unusual things that were happening. Even those who don't know anything, they weren't waiting. It just seemed very unusual. That night was more unusual. And those who are learned, those who have some secret knowledge that they're taking from the Taurat and the Zabur and the Injil, they know more, definitely. Because the coming of the Prophet ﷺ has been foretold, not in just these 3 books, but in this 100 suhufs, in all holy books, they have been foretold to watch out. This is what's going to happen. There are some who are waiting because they want to receive him. And there are those who are waiting because they want to kill him. When the Prophet ﷺ, he was born, and when Halima Sa'diya, her name is Halima, from the tribe of Sa'd, and she had to go and make some money, and she came to Mecca riding her old animal. But all those nurses there, they've already taken every child that is in need. They say, anyone left? They say, yes, there's one. He is an orphan. But you ask me a question, why? Because the Prophet was an orphan. That's how he felt. He is an orphan, and there's so many secrets to it too. He is an orphan, now everyone is his brother, everyone is his sister, everyone is his father. He is not just concentrating on his own father and mother. This is how the ummah should be behaving, because of the love of that Prophet ﷺ, that they're going to see their first mercy is towards those ones who are gharib. Mercy is towards those ones that they don't have any power. Just like the Turks. When they saw that fight between the Muslims and the Christians, which Sultan was that? Seljuk Sultan. And he saw this small army and a huge army. The huge army was beating up the small army. They didn't sit down to argue with people trying to understand this. No, they say it is wrong now. This huge army is beating up this small army. We don't care what the quarrel is. We're going to defend the small ones. And the small army was the Muslims. And from that time until now, they've been the defenders of Islam. Once you remove the defenders of Islam now, everyone is coming to attack. From the outside and from the inside, they start attacking each other. So this feeling now, that you're going to look at each other, you're going to say, in reality, we're all gharib. We're all separated. And this is the backbone, especially of the Masnawi. We are separated. We are separated from Allah. And we're here just singing the song of longing and separation. But in reality, it is Allah who wants to be united with us. And so now, the Prophet ﷺ, he was an orphan. And he was coming from a poor, well, they were not so rich himself. And Halimatu Sa'diya saying that, let me see the baby. And she went and she saw the full moon face of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and the smell, the perfume that is coming from him, and she fell in love, and she says, I will take this baby. We cannot pay for you, it doesn't matter, she says. I've already fallen in love with him. And when he was a baby, she saw so many wonderful things. She saw him when he was a baby, and he was playing, and he was talking, and she listened. He was making baby sounds and making his hand like this. And she said, who is he talking to? And she looked. It was nighttime, and there was a full moon. He was playing with the moon. He was doing this, and the moon was going up and down. And this is just to show a sign of what is going to happen later, because the one who split the moon was the one that the moon was already a toy to him when he was a baby. Allah gave him the moon to keep him company. It is not poetic, literally. So Hazrat Sadiya fell in love with the Prophet ﷺ. Took him. He started to nurse. She started to produce so much milk. She was so happy. She went on her donkey, and then they started going so fast. They caught up to all the others who were going back to their village, because they go to the city, they take the children. There was a custom that time, and they go to the village, because city, it is unhealthy out in the desert, in the open. One of the reasons is it is healthier, and they learn all the traditional ways of being strong. Then they stop over at a place, and it was a custom that time also for all those who had nurses now to go to different fortune tellers and to say what is the destiny of this baby. She went there. Then she was holding the Prophet ﷺ. Suddenly she heard a voice, he is here, come get him. He was one of the enemies, that they were taking out their swords and they were going to find him. She escaped, and she saw something, angels coming down to finish them. So many unusual things happen. That's why those ones whose hearts they were open, they've already accepted him. If anything, they've fallen in love with him. And they call him Al-Amin. And one of his other names was As-Siddiq. And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq was his best friend since they were young. And the whole city knew him, trusted him, and loved him. What made them to reject him? Only their ego, only their stubbornness, only their arrogance, nothing else. It's not even their spirit. So they knew. People knew. They saw the unusual things. At that time, people had more belief. At that time, people understood that mankind is just one out of so many other kinds of creatures on the face of this earth. And mankind, that he is a weak creature, that there are so many other forces in this earth. Now you have to understand what are the powerful forces of this earth, and not to oppose them, to work with them. And when you take that to an extreme, then you start becoming friendly, thinking that they are idols. But if not, you understand now it is not your doing. The weather, it is not your doing. Plants growing, it is not your doing. The seasons changing, it is not mankind's hand that is in there. Mankind's hand is in there now only to interrupt and to destroy now, never to make things better, never. All the promises they say, we're going to plant this, we're going to give you this, and everyone is going to not be hungry anymore, is a complete lie. Complete lie. We're going to give you a new crop. Everyone is going to be, technology and science is going to make everyone to live like kings. No. Everyone living more like slaves now than ever before. Literally, there is more slavery in this world right now than it was ever before. Right now, as we are speaking. So there were signs. And the people who were learned knew that he came. There was one Jewish rabbi who said, every star that represents a prophet has already appeared in the sky except for his. And tonight the star appeared. We know that he is born. So, just as now when the appearances of Dajjal is going to come, and the appearances of Mahdi is going to come, the signs will be there. The signs are already here. But who believes? Who believes anymore? Even those who are putting so much YouTube videos saying that this is the sign, this is the sign, they are stuck there. What? You think Dajjal is going to come exactly as the hadith is saying, one eye is protruding, one eye is like this, and kafara is written like this, and it's like this? This is coded word. You think Dajjal doesn't have enough intelligence to say, oh, if he describes me like that, I'm going to assume a different shape? You think? He is the one who can even raise people from the dead. You think he cannot change his appearance? If the Prophet ﷺ is describing him like that, that's not the meaning. These are code words that he's using. These are all symbols that he's using. He says, your Lord is not one-eyed. What does one eye mean? Oh, eye, iPhone, iPad, I. You see? He is here. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. This is how, because what can we do? So people taking knowledge of this, they're not taking it from awliya, who's given this knowledge to save keep. They're taking it from a bunch of kids who spend way too much time on the internet, pulling things from here and there, and before you know it, they say aliens. Sheikhs, they're saying aliens. Aliens. Allah, Allah. This is what happens. So, at that time, as we explained, people felt all the way in Yemen, in the south, there was a king who felt. He saw a light in the skies, and he had a daughter that was suffering, so it was crazy, and she became better because she said, the Prophet came to me. And he said, now we have to go. We have to go visit him. The Prophet came as an angel in the form. So the king just left. When he saw the baby, they fell in love with the baby again. And then the king said, let me look at him one more time. They weren't supposed to go inside because there's so many enemies that were waiting. But they let them to come through because there's a king from Yemen. He just traveled overnight, just like that. And he says, one last time, let me look at him. He turned and he looked at him, and his heart started burning inside of him. His love overtook him, and he just fell down dead. So, all the way in India, they were seeing the signs. There was one king from South India who came, no? I forget his name. Why you think later on there were even delegations from China that came to the Holy Prophet ﷺ? Why everyone was coming? There are 3 wise men. Oh, please, give me a break. In the time of the Prophet's birth, there was only one just king living in this world. What was his name? Nushirvan. He was from Persia. The Prophet said, there's only one just king in this world when I was born. Everyone else, they were tyrants, one way or another. He was the king of Persia. one of the signs, there's this area called Sawa. It's running through, I believe, is Euphrates, the Firat, running through his lands. And that area there, it is known for Christian monasteries, and Jewish learning centers there, the madrasas that are there. The river was running through it, and this river dried out overnight. And a very hot wind coming, showing the sign that there's no more barakat now from those two religions. Their rulership is gone. And Nushirvan, he had if I'm not wrong, he had 18 palaces. 10 of them, they fell overnight. They just collapsed. And 8 of them, they were still standing. And he had a dream on that night. He collected all his wise men, and he says, I had a dream. They said, please, Your Highness, tell us your dream so we can tell you the meaning. He says, no, I'm not going to tell you my dream, but you're going to tell me what is the meaning of my dream. They started shaking. If you are real, he says, you will know what I dreamt last night. So they traveled everywhere to try to find. Then there's a very wise man who lived. He was in Bahrain. And there was not one piece of bone in his body. It was just made from meat. But he was living over 900 years. 30 generations he was living. And he was collecting so much knowledge. Once a year, they bring him out on a golden, let's say, what do you call it, litter, palanquin, like a stretcher. I'm using very simple words, stretcher. They were carrying him because he's just made from meat. His name is Sati. He has a real name. Then once a year, they come out, and kings would travel from very far to ask him questions, and he's going to give some advice. And that delegation from Persia, they went, and it was that time when they brought him out. And they said, this is what's happened to the palace, this is what happened to the river. And he said, the last prophet is born. And he says his meaning that now there's no more barakat and rahmat from those two religions. And the 10 palaces that fell down and 8 that are still standing, it is signifying that after him, after Nushirvan, there's going to be 8 kings that's going to rule. And after that, this last prophet and his companions, they're going to take over the land that you are ruling. Because that's part of the dream too. It says, I saw people coming from the deserts, and they're coming with camels and with riding Hijin camels and riding the horse and da-da-da. So that Sati, he told us. And he said, he started crying. He said, I wish I had more time to live, but I cannot. I don't have more time. And I'm crying because all my life I have been waiting for that last prophet to appear. And I'm afraid that I will not be able to go and kiss his blessed hands and feet, but send my salams to him. So many other things happening on that day. Muslims are also, especially since post-colonialism, especially since the modern era, Muslims are not speaking about the miracles of the Prophet ﷺ anymore, or his miraculous birth. They're speaking to him, oh, he was a social reformer. He was an activist. He was a great economist. He was this and he was that. All these words that is fashionable at that time, unbelievers are using, we're using. So now there is no connection to that one whom the angels, they made tawaf around when he was a baby. So now, how much value are you going to give to that prophet? You're just going to say he's just like a man. So they knew, because like I said, Shaitan was locked up for 40 days. His throne was toppled. He let out a scream. All the Shaitans, now it is already blocked. They cannot now go up to the first paradises to enter and to listen to divine secrets and to come down and to confuse people. It is blocked now. Now there is a veil. Some they're still trying to reach, and then they're getting punished by the angels that is guarding there. So much rahmat was reaching there. Those who are looking, they find what they're looking for. Those who are not looking, they see the skies and it says nothing here. But the people living in Mecca, they understood. That's why everybody was happy and everyone rejoiced. Even Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab, they were happy. Everyone, because they say this is a very special child. Ya Allah, make us to increase our love for Him, inshallah. May Allah make our love for Him more than the love that we have of our fathers and our mothers and of our children and everything and everyone that we love. If you don't love your Prophet more than all of that, we do not have complete faith. May Allah make us to have complete faith by having love to that one who is teaching us of the love of the Prophet. May Allah increase our love for our Shaykh, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum. Right, anything else anyone wants to say? It's good. This much is enough, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Give the tea.